Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, make sure you leave room for the Holy Spirit. Noble Ghost is a 5.2% blonde ale from Axle Brewing Company in Ferndale, Michigan. I really need to get a bell. I mean, we could be ringing it here because this is another first-time brewery for the channel. I've been to Axle's Tap Room. I've had a couple of their beers. Wolftone, first off, that was their first barrel-aged stout. And I had yesterday's news, which was a double New England style IPA. Now, needless to say, they're not a stranger to me, but they are new to the channel. Now, enough with my history, though. This is Noble Ghost, which they label as a Grundgeist Blonde Ale. And Grundgeist is an up-and-coming hop varietal for this year. You may have heard of Callista. This is the same hop. Grundgeist is just a trademark name for that hop. Now, it's known for having a peach, passion fruit, and some zesty lemon aromas. And that sounds amazing, especially in a blonde. So let's take a look at the label on this beer, and we'll talk about the price, and we'll get it into a glass. Now, fun fact, the peach is native to Northwest China, and that's where it was first domesticated and cultivated. So I'm going to grab my glass first off, and then we'll take a look at the label, my custom Draft Therapy Tuku glass. And this is Noble Ghost by Axle Brewing Company. It says right on the front here, Noble Ghost Grundgeist Blonde. And on the bottom, it has Ferndale, Michigan, with a little image of the state here. And on the back, if you turn it around, it says Noble Ghost, Grundgeist Blonde. There's something noble, exquisite even, about taking an intentional soft touch with beer. Grundgeist hops are used in Noble Ghost in a purposeful, even-handed fashion. A traditionally German noble hop, grown in Michigan, lends subtle peach notes that encourage a flavorful yet expedient devouring of the ale. When the glass is empty, you'll find it was indeed a Noble Ghost after all. And then it says brewed and canned by Axle Brewing Company, 567 Livernois, Ferndale, Michigan, 48220, and their website, axlebrewing.com. And then, of course, the government warning. This has a number on the back of the can, but I don't think this is a date. It says 019073. Now, I think that's a batch number. I wouldn't think that's a date unless 019 is 2019, but 73, I'm not sure what that could be unless it's best drank by, the 3rd of June. I'm sorry, 3rd of July. And then on the bottom here, there's nothing, but I do have the price tag. I paid $2.49 for a single can of this beer. Now, the label itself, Axle usually has this really kind of uniform look to their labels. They'll have, it's like their city, their porter. They usually say like Axle on the side and then the name of the beer. Like, again, they had just porter, or they had one for the Detroit not MLS, but the Detroit soccer team. But yeah, so they've changed it up a little bit. I like the other labels better. This is kind of really not a whole lot going on with the label, and it, Axle, I think they did just a really good job on the previous ones. It was the same font as their Axle logo. So let's go ahead and crack this. Enough with labels. You want to know about the beer. So we're going to crack this. I'm going to get a sniff right out of the can here. I am getting it's really deep in there. I'm getting like almost like a bready scent, but I'm also getting a little bit of a peach. Not a whole lot, but I'm getting something. So let's go ahead and pour this. Really clear coming out of the can here. Looks really light. It's got a nice amount of carbonation there. Set that down. It's got about a finger's worth of head. Not a lot. It's actually not retaining very well. It's dissipating fairly quickly, but there's a lot of carbonation streaming up from the bottom. Actually, the head's hanging on. There's still about a half a finger. Really loosely packed. You can see really easily if you look down at the overhead. You can see right through the head. I mean, it's there and it's white. What is there is really white, but it's really pretty transparent, and you can see right into the beer. Let's hold it up to the light here and get a better look at the color. This is a really golden yellow beer. Again, a little hazy, maybe. Yeah, it's not condensation on the glass. It's a little bit hazy. I can see my fingers through here. I can't see detail, but I can see shadow and I can see my fingers. But yeah, there's still a lot of good carbonation streaming up. Let's get a better nose here right out of the glass and I'll give you a little bit of better description on the aroma. It smells, yeah, again, it has a tiny, like a really slight peach scent in there, but it's also, it just has a light kind of smell, almost a Pilsner-y kind of smell. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Cheers. Very light, a very light taste, really crisp. As I kind of roll it in my mouth a little bit, I was getting this really slight, really subdued kind of peach taste in there. It's really deep in there, really very subtle. Again, the flavor is really light, really crisp, very refreshing. I could see this being a really good kind of lawnmower kind of beer. And then the tail end, this has this kind of crackery finish. It's almost, it's really reminiscent to me of a Pilsner. It's got a really light Pilsner-y kind of taste on the finish for me. This is really light, and I was expecting it to be light, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more fuller bodied, a little bit more, have a little bit more of a malty kind of punch to it. The way that, as it stands now, it's just very light. There's really light taste and really crisp and really refreshing. Again, this is one that you could kind of toss back quite a few. I think this is one that you would want to sit back and just kind of relax and drink on a really light, hot day, doing some yard work or, mowing your lawn or doing, stuff around outside. But I would advise that if you pick this up, you need to know that's what you're getting into, right? It's not going to be really strong flavor-wise. It's going to have, really subtle flavors, really crisp, really refreshing, but really very subtle flavors. There's nothing in this beer that jumps out at me and says, hey, drink me, drink me, drink me. It's something that I would have to buy in advance and know that I was drinking it for a specific kind of occasion. Again, something where I was relaxing, something maybe after working a long time, or out in the heat or out in the summer sun. It would be something that I would just maybe sit back, and if I wanted to drink a couple, it's really light. It's 5.2%. Again, years ago, 5.2% would have been on the higher side, or maybe mid-range. 5.2% these days is really light. The flavor is really light. The taste, the mouth feels really light, really crisp, really refreshing. But again, just a huge disclaimer on this one. You need to know beforehand going into this that you're going to get something really light. If you go into this thinking that you're going to get some, super flavorful blonde ale, like a really strong blonde, then I think you're going to be a little bit let down. But this has more of kind of like a German Pilsner flavor to it, or a taste. So as long as you go into it knowing that, I think you won't have any problems. But if you go in thinking that you're going to get some huge flavored, really like bombastic kind of beer, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed. All right, friends, that has been Noble Ghost from Axle Brewing in Ferndale. If you go to the tap room and check them out, let them know that you saw their beer right here. So have you had Noble Ghost, or do you have a favorite seasonal style? Do you like to sip on a sour, maybe an IPA, a blonde, or even a Pilsner? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like Michigan beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about Michigan beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for free for viewers just like you. And you never know, you might miss out on your next favorite if you're not subscribed and clicking that bell. And as a reminder, I'm still taking text or voicemail questions at 224-DRAFT-20 for an upcoming Q&A video. I'll pick one person at random to get a couple Draft Therapy goodies, maybe some more stuff. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little Draft Therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.